This is wealth and prosperity in the book of Mark. So the rich young man went to Jesus to ask how he could be saved. And Jesus told him to sell all his possessions and give it to the poor and follow him. And he went away grieved because he had a lot. So the disciples said, so how is this going to be possible? Who then can enter the kingdom of heaven? And Jesus said, with man, it's impossible. But with God, all things are possible. Because there are some rich men, some rich people who are devoted Jesus followers. They are Christians. They love the Lord with all their heart. They spend money on Christian events. They sponsor missionaries. They sponsor tracts. You know, they do all these missionary stuff for the church to forward the gospel. So it is possible for a rich person to enter the kingdom of heaven. So if you are wealthy, do not make that your Lord. You have to use your money wisely. Use it to further the gospel. And also in this book, we see Jesus chasing out those buying and selling in the temple. And it reminded me, some years ago, I was in church and we were on our knees, we were praying. And this man, he said, excuse me. So I opened my eyes. I said, yeah. And he said, I'm selling mobile phone. Do you want to buy a phone? And I did look at him oddly, thinking, you disturbed my prayer for this? And I said, no, I don't want a phone. And I closed my eyes and I kept on praying. And he nudged me again. Why don't you want a phone? This is a true story. I was young. Why don't you want a phone? And I didn't know how to tell him that this is not the time or the place, but I just insisted I didn't need a phone. So he moved away from me and I saw him nudge the next person, and I'm guessing he was asking the same question. So if Jesus was in that church that day, he would be whipped. There is a time and a place for everything. You don't go to church and start disturbing people's prayers and asking them, do you want to buy this? Do you want to buy that during the service? Wait, after the service, then you can advertise your wares, advertise your services, but don't disrupt the service to do that. There was another lady, she was selling handbags, and during service, she would come around and say, see me after the service, I've got a handbag. Don't go, I've got a handbag. But service is going on. Praise and worship is going on. And she was advertising her wares. So don't be too money conscious. That should not be the time. And then the final bit about money in this book is when Judas agrees to betray Jesus. He's paid heavily and he gives them a sign of how he will betray Jesus, and he kisses him and Jesus is arrested. So there are some people that are just too money conscious. They can sell their parents, they can sell their children, they can sell anybody once money is on the table. You shouldn't be like, you know, that money conscious that you lose yourself in the process. That will not bring you prosperity. That will not bring you wealth. You know, instead you will be punished deeply by God for doing that. Don't be a sellout. You know, don't be a sellout. So just depend on the Lord, work hard and pray, and God will bless you. So that's wealth and prosperity in the book of Mark. God bless.